Welcome back to the Blender through Docwalk. This document is on using the active element as the pivot point. So let's get started. Okay, so first things first, we're going to go up and select active element. And just as a reminder, remember you can always bring up the pie menu to select your pivot point by hitting period, not the period on your number pad, the period on your, on the keyboard, the side of your keyboard. It shares a key with the greater than sign, or just adjacent to the question mark. So I'm hitting the period, brings up this menu, and I can select active element from here. Remember, there's a difference between a selected element and the active element. So just to illustrate this, I'm going to hit 7 to get a top view. I'm going to select this guy, and I'm going to duplicate him a few times with Shift D, duplicate, and Shift D, duplicate, and then we'll just duplicate all of them, again Shift D. Okay, so let's select all of them. Now you'll notice that one of these is shaded a little differently. This one, this one, this one, this one, and this one are darker orange, while this one is a much lighter orange. This is your active element. So even though they're all selected elements, your active element is the one that's lighter. So typically, also just, as I deselected everything, right? You can see this one has still showing its origin. That's because that was the one that was previously the active element. So if I select them one at a time by holding Shift down, select, you'll see the last one I selected is always the active element. So select, now this is active. Select, now this is active. Select, now this is active. And if I want something else to be active and they've all been selected, I can just continue to hold Shift down and go over to it and select it again. And now that's the active element. Okay, so using the active element as a pivot point is just that. We are going to use the active element's origin point as the pivot point. So I'm going to hit R, and the whole thing rotates around my active element's origin point. And as always with the other pivot point types, if I moved my active element's pivot or origin point to a corner or something, that would then be the point around which everything rotates. So pretty cut and dry. Let's jump into edit mode by hitting Tab. And here things are going to work a little differently. So I'm going to get, back to object mode really quick. I'm going to get rid of all of these really fast. And whoops. Move that there. Okay, now I'm hitting Tab. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And I just hit A to select all of the vertices. I'm going to subdivide it multiple times. Yeah, that's a good solid many there, right? Okay, I'm going to hit Alt Z to go into X-ray mode. So I've got everything selected. Everything selected. Okay, so 7 for top view. All right, now I'm going to select this guy here. If I hit R for rotate, obviously nothing's going to happen. Just like the other pivot point types, when you're in edit mode, you're dealing with vertices, okay, instead of object origins. So yeah, that's not going to do anything. I mean, it does do something, but it's nothing that actually, means anything to us visually here. Okay, now I'm going to select a group of them, and now this is recognized as a face, right? If I hit R, it's going to rotate that. Now it's going to use the median point between the 4 vertices I just selected as the point of rotation. Okay. Remember, as long as you have a vertex that is directly connected to a vertex that is also selected, it will keep keep formation. It will stay that shape. So if I hit R again, that whole thing is going to twist. Now, unlike I guess, unlike previous ones, if I hit R here, okay, because I don't have an active element, it's going to select the median of all of the vertices. Okay, so it's calculated a median, and that's where it ends up being. However, if I shift and just click, okay, just click to select a vertex, you'll notice that it is white now. That is now the active vertex. So now if I hit R, it's going to actually rotate around my active vertex. Okay. All right. Same thing goes for, you know, faces and edges. If I hit 2 to you know, go into edge select mode, obviously because it's still using the vertices to calculate the origin. The origin here would be the very middle, right? It would be the middle of our line. So if I hit R, it's just going to draw down to the middle of that segment there, that edge there, and twist it. If I select many of them, right, the same thing. It's going to come up with the median between all selected vertices and use that as my point of rotation. And just like with the vertex mode, if I hold shift down and select the line, that now is my active element. So if I hit R, now my point of rotation is at the center of that one. It's using the true vertices of my active edge to calculate its median, which is in the middle of the very middle of the edge there. And then finally, if we go into face mode, I'm going to hit 3. Just like with the other ones, right? The same thing. It's still using all of the vertices to calculate the median. If I hit R, it's going to end up being right there in the middle. If I grab a bunch of them, hit R, it's going to be right there in the middle. The difference is when I specifically shift select something to, you know, turn it into the or to create an active element, I'm going to hit R, and now that is my point of rotation. So pretty cut and dry. Took a little bit longer to explain, but I mean, it's pretty basic stuff, pretty simple, fairly easy to understand there. All right, so that was the active element document, or using the active element option, the active element pivot point option. And I will see you guys next time as we dig our way back out of the pivot point hell, 5-6 video long pivot point hell, and we begin the snapping documentation. Again, thank you for watching. If you liked it, please hit the like button. If you've not yet, go ahead and subscribe. And if you know anybody that you think may find this useful, go ahead and share it with them. Again, thank you. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.